You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And hello, this is Mike Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. It's Sunday morning. Beautiful here. Not a cloud in the sky at the moment in Palm Beach. Beautiful, beautiful blue skies. Sun came up this morning. I tell you, it was a beautiful sunrise. You know, it used to be when I lived in California, there was a beautiful sunset. But here in Palm Beach, it's a beautiful sunrise. So I always get up early, about 5:30. Sun is coming up. Beautiful pink and reds and everything else as it rises up out of the east. It's very, very nice. Listen, speaking about the West Coast in California, my rant today is going to be about California. And the reason why is because there's so many companies that are leaving the state. And the reason that they keep leaving is because the state of California keeps pounding on businesses with higher taxes, more payroll taxes, more compliance issues. Cost of living is going up. Thank God right now, because of the economy in California, rents are going down. Los Angeles has had a significant decrease. San Francisco has had, I think it was about a 40% decrease in their rents up in San Francisco because people are moving out. Now, the cost of moving out of California to get a U-Haul truck is quite expensive. But let me tell you what's happening. Oracle is leaving California. Now, I don't know if you've ever driven past their campus up in Northern California. It's a beautiful campus, and it houses a lot of employees. But they're moving to Austin, Texas. And they're moving to a state that doesn't have a state tax, payroll tax, and is very pro-business there. There are so many companies that are moving into Texas. Tesla just moved into Texas. Hewlett-Packard, HP just moved into Texas, or moving into Texas right now. The big companies are leaving California because California is not a viable state to do business in anymore. I left California in 2019. I could see what was going on, and I didn't want to be there anymore. So I started planning ahead on my move on what I was going to do. But companies are doing that now. And if you work for a company, I bet you right now all those board of directors are meeting and they're saying, why are we staying in California? We can no longer survive here under the current political situation that California is in. And I'm telling you right now, California doesn't care if you leave or not. They don't care. They do not believe in business. They do not believe in small business. They don't believe in business of any kind. They think there should be a state-run state. In other words, everything that gets done in the state of California is a communist type system, a socialist type system, where the state controls everything. Well, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are a company or a small business, an individual who's working from home, you should not be in California. Because right now, so much, and listen, by these companies leaving California, what does that do to you? Well, for one thing, it's going to raise your taxes significantly. Because now the state has lost payroll taxes. They have lost hotel taxes. They have lost property taxes. They have lost, and the list goes on. So who do you think that burden of losing all of that tax revenue into the state, who do you think is going to pick it up? Well, if you're in the state of California, you're going to pick it up. If you're on middle income, you're going to pick it up. Lower income doesn't pay anything into the system. But middle income and above, they do. But the problem is that when these companies move, they take people with them. So that means that, individuals who are working for these companies are leaving the state of California too, which decreases the tax rolls for the state and the local counties and the cities. Can California sustain that loss? No, they can't. And the other issue that's happening, California has elected officials who are anti-police and are letting the criminals run free. If you look at the city of the district attorney of San Francisco, the new district attorney of Los Angeles have all said they're no longer going to prosecute low-level criminals. So what do you think that does? That says, okay, come to Los Angeles, come to San Francisco, create your crimes because we're not going to prosecute you. As long as it's below $1,000, and you can do that a whole bunch of times. They're not going to prosecute repeat offenders. They're not going to prosecute those that trespass on other people's property. So crime goes up. And that's what's happened in San Francisco. Crime has gone up. And in Los Angeles, if you think that's going to be a war zone, it's going to be a big war zone. Because now it's up to, if you own a house, let's say it's a $500 to $1 million, it's up to you to protect your house. Police aren't going to be there anymore. So why would you keep your company? Why would you continue living in a state that does not care about the citizens at all? They seem to care more about the prisoners and they care more about those that created crimes and letting them go free than protecting you from the crimes that they commit. So why would any decent company remain in California? I don't get it. So this is what's going to happen. Since they are losing good paying jobs to other states and companies are moving out, so they've lost the state of California and the counties in the cities have lost their revenue sources now. So where are they going to go after? But they're going to chase those people down. They are. They're going to chase them down. They chased me down. EDD has chased me down in California. And I don't have any employees. But they still assign me with an employee ID number for California and assign it to my new corporation here, which has no employees. But they want to make sure that they can, if you even breathe any money from California, that they're going to squeeze it out of you. So it's a dangerous situation. If you can close down your businesses and make sure that everything is in compliance and move out of the state of California, do it. I'm telling you right now, do it. If you are working from your home, get out of California and move to another state, because if you're working from home, you can work anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world, basically. But if you remain in California, you are going to get taxed. And you are going to get taxed heavily. And that is not what this country is about. Except in California, in New York. And now, with the major lockdowns that the state of California is doing, and the city of New York is doing on small businesses and restaurants, it's another killer. It's like, listen, California is saying, hey, we don't really like you, but listen, go sit over there in that coffin and we'll nail it shut, okay? Just sit there, be quiet. Don't fight back, don't say anything. But just sit there because we're going to drive you out of business. So just lay down. We're going to close the door and you're going to hear some tapping. Don't worry about it because we don't care. We as a state, we don't care. So there they go. They start tapping at your coffin if you own a business in California. California has become the worst state in the nation. It's a third world country. By the end of next year, expect downtown LA to be a war zone. expect San Francisco to be a slum. Because you have politicians who do not care. Businesses have moved out. They've said enough with California. Enough with your socialist ideas. We are capitalists and we want to continue to be capitalists. But California doesn't care. They don't care if you move out. In fact, they've even said, go ahead, go. We don't care. Look what they did to Elon Musk. Go. They say, go. We don't care. Members of the state assembly, the lady that did HB, that House bill that literally eliminated all independent contractors, said, we don't care if you leave. Go ahead, go. Bye-bye. Hasta la vista. Those are the kinds of politicians that now drive Sacramento and also city halls and county commissions. And Californians allow them to do that. And I have no idea why Californians have become so weak. But the smart ones, the people who still have their money, are leaving California. Texas seems to be the number one spot where people are going. And it's a smart move because Texas has low housing. You can still buy a nice house there for $200,000. Gasoline prices are still good. No payroll taxes. No state taxes. A little bit higher property taxes, but that's okay. They love businesses coming in. They're working with these businesses coming in. They're saying, come to our state. We want you there. We love you guys. They're not the only state doing that. Arizona's doing the same thing. Nevada's doing the same thing. Florida's doing the same thing. Bunch of tech investors out of San Francisco, Silicon Valley, said last week, hey, we're moving to Miami. Forget about California. We're moving to Miami. It's an easier life there. You see, once you do business in California, you are tied to so many different things. You've got the EDD, you got the Franchise Tax Board, you got the local counties, you got the cities sometimes. If you're in the city of Los Angeles, you own a small motel, you pay hefty taxes to the city of Los Angeles. So, I have no idea why anybody would want to continue to live in California. I would say this, listen. I had to make the tough choice. I was born in California. I love California. I am so sad to see what's happening in California, but they forced me out. I became a California refugee, and I moved to Florida. Luckily, with my job, I can work anywhere in the world, but I chose Florida, and I chose Palm Beach. But you cannot continue to live in California if you want to get ahead, if you want to create a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, because California is watching every step that you make and every move that you make, and they will come after you at some point in time because they feel as though they can squeeze more money out of you. So why in the hell would you stay in California? I don't get it. Listen, if you want to move out of California, start planning it right now. Because you need to make the move very quickly. Otherwise, the state of California is going to... In fact, they're already talking about it right now of increasing income taxes and corporate taxes, business taxes in the state of California. Why? Because they have to. Because they're losing money. They have forced so many businesses out. Now it's tax time. And it will be tax time every single day if you remain in California, in Los Angeles, and San Francisco. You guys think that you're moving out of the city of Los Angeles out to the suburbs. You think that's going to help? No, it's not going to help. The state of California arms still reach out into those suburbs. So, Listen, if you guys really think about what's happening in California, move to a state that does not think socialist. Do not move to a state that thinks that government is better, is the answer, because it's not. And you know it, and I know it. Everything that the government touches from a state level, and even on the federal level, when they touch an issue, they destroy it. And that's exactly what the politicians have done in California, is that they have destroyed the beautiful state. You remember HP, Hewlett-Packard, was one of the first technology companies to ever set up business in California. HP was the very first technology company. I remember they had their headquarters when I lived there a long time ago in the San Francisco Bay Area. They had their headquarters right there in Redwood City, and I would drive past it every single day. And it was a big campus. Even at that time, in the 70s, it was a big campus, and I was so impressed. And if you know the story of HP, it's a good story of how people came together and created this company. But then, Socialist California came along and said, you know what, it's our job to destroy business. We don't believe in business. We're not going to support business. In fact, we hate business so much we're going to attack business. And that's what they've done. Over the last 4 years, California has failed daily to help the people of California. The people who have lived there all of their life. The people who were born there. The people who started their businesses from scratch with nothing. Who made them into something. And then came along this ideology of California politicians, Democrats, who have decided that we can get all of our money out of businesses, so we're going to squeeze you with high income taxes. And all the fees and red tape and regulations that we can pile upon you so that we can get more money out of you. We're going to attack small business. We're going to attack businesses of all kind. Because that's how we believe. We believe that government is the answer, and that is the worst idea ever. Because now HP has gone out of California. Tesla and Elon Musk is out of California. More and more companies will be moving out of California, more high-paying jobs. The only jobs that will be remaining in California will be the low-income jobs, the minimum wage jobs. But everybody else, they've gone to friendlier states, friendlier communities, where they know that they're wanted, where they're invited, where they say, come on over. We'd love for you to live here. We'd love for you to start your business here. We'd love for you to bring over your business to Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Florida. Come on over. I tell you, I was in South Carolina for a couple of years as I was rebuilding a house. And technology, tech firms, they have a whole building in downtown Greenville, South Carolina, that is pure startups, techs. And it's amazing to walk through that building. It's a big building. It's several stories tall. As you walk through it and see all the different ideas beginning to develop in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, Greenville, South Carolina is a nice place to live. You can get a nice house there. You can have a nice school system, a good community system of churches, of organizations, a very family-oriented community. So I was amazed as I was there working on my house and driving around and listening and talking to people how pro-business that they were. They wanted to see businesses move in. They wanted to see these high-tech companies begin to establish and begin to flourish in South Carolina. Same things happening up in North Carolina too. Same things happening here in Florida. It's so amazing how many investment bankers have moved from New York down into West Palm Beach, into Palm Beach. Big hedge funds have moved here, and more of them are moving because it's a business-friendly environment. California has lost any kind of sense of what business is even about. The only conversations that they have in the state legislature is how much more taxes can we squeeze out of Californians in their businesses. So, I ask that question all the time. Why in the world would you stay in California when you know that it's no longer a viable state to live, raise children, or operate businesses? So I'm encouraging you, listen, California's dead. I don't like to say that. It hurts me greatly to say that, but you have to protect yourself. And you have to make the decision whether or not if this is the right place for me to stay, because I can't afford these taxes. I can't afford these high rents anymore. I can't afford high gasoline prices because of gasoline fuel taxes charged by the state of California and other organizations in California. When I was planning my move, I planned it 3 years because I had a large tax practice in Los Angeles. And I didn't want to just leave my clients in the lurch, so I worked with them for 3 years so that they could find other places to go. I slowly weaned them away. And then in 2019, I did my last, I think I did 30 tax returns out of California. And then that was it. That was done with. As I moved everything to Florida, I had to make that decision. Even though I love California and I was born there, that's where my heart is. I could no longer stay there because I was being pushed out, demolished by a state. Even to this day, I'm still fighting with EDD over nothing. My heart is with California. I love it very much. But you have to make those decisions that are good for you. And you have to move, you have to go to places where they want you, where the community loves to see you come. Where the state is saying, come on over, let's work together. I find it amazing that California has turned so far left that they have no feeling or no care about people who operate businesses in California or who live in California. And Californians are no longer protected by the law. There is no rule of law anymore in the state of California. And that is a pity. It is a shame to see that criminals are more protected than the average citizen, the mom and the dad, the business. They're no longer protected or safe at their homes because of the district attorneys that are now in power over the legal system in California. Now, I hope someone fights back on that. I hope there are still people who are willing to fight back government in their destruction to a good life in California. Because that good life is gone now. Politicians have destroyed it. The only way that things change is by Americans getting involved. And sometimes you need to revolt. Sometimes you need to say to politicians and shake them by the head sometimes and say, listen, you continue on and we will take back this state by force if we have to. Because right now you've chased out my job. You've destroyed restaurants, mom and pop stores. And that can't keep going on. And listen, if the federal government even tries to bail out California and New York, every American should be pissed off. They should be mad as hell. Because we did not, the rest of us in this nation did not cause that issue. We did not cause their problems. The politicians did that. Not the rest of Americans. No, I didn't do it when I was here in Florida. I had nothing to do with what's going on in California. The person in Oklahoma has nothing to do with what's happening in California, in New York. Those are those politicians that are creating the problem and destroying the state, not the rest of the United States. And you Californians who are there right now, you are allowing them to destroy the state of California, and you sit there and you do nothing. So people like me have to come on to podcasts and radio programs and try to talk some sense into you. Please, listen. Either you are going to fight for California or just leave. I've said this before in another podcast, and I hate saying it. But it's got to be done. So those of you who want to have a better life, don't stay in California because it's just not going to work out. If you want a better life, look to the community where you want to move, what it offers you, what you desire in a community. But don't take your left liberal ways to other states, because what you did in California destroyed the state because you allowed politicians to take over. So don't go to another state with your liberal ideas and try to destroy other states. Because I tell you right now, it's not going to work out. So your attitude had better change. It had better change. Either you're going to be for the community, you're going to work for the community, you're going to be pro-business, you're going to be pro-democracy, you're going to be pro-freedoms, and that is what we're asking you to be. But if you're going to come there with liberal ideas, with a socialist mindset, and do exactly what you just did to California, we don't want you. Stay in California, stay there, please. But if you want to have a good change in life, then you find a state that's going to provide that, and then you get connected, you get involved, and you fight for your business, in your rights, in your freedoms, in your liberties, in your constitutional rights. You fight for that. Liberalism stays in California. Liberalism gets locked down in California and New York. Just lock them down. So we need people moving into these states that are willing to really understand that the rule of law is very important to the rest of this nation. Capitalism is vital to keep a nation going. Socialist ideas, nevermore. We don't want them. But if you're going to stay in California, either commit to being a real socialist or leave and become a capitalist in other states. But the taxes are low, where pro-business is loved. Religion is worshipped. Freedoms are fought for. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. If you have any questions or comments, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Or you can send me an email at info, at lodge, LODGE-co.com. In fact, go to my website at lodge-co.com. Find out what I do in my day job. And I'm telling you, I hope today, this beautiful Sunday, that you kneel down on your knees and you pray for this great country, because it needs a lot of prayer. And then prayer for the decision that you're about to make. And maybe, there's something that can be done in California, but it's going to take a long time to do it. Because it's been corrupted by politics. And politics is the most evil source of governance ever. When it points to socialism, it's going to fail every single time. And we're seeing it fail right now by companies, major companies, moving out of the state of California. Listen, I think that's enough of my rant today. If you have a rant and you want to tell me about your rant, send me a text, send me an email. Let's talk it through. That's what I'm here for. If you have any business questions, go to my website at lodge-co.com. Click an appointment on 60-minute advice. That's right, in the middle of my website. You'll see a little tab up there, 60-minute business advice. I'm here for you at all times, and I can answer any question. Well, I will try and answer the questions and concerns that you may have on business. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you very soon. Everybody have a great Sunday, and God bless. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. Everybody, God bless.